everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to just be giving you a few tips and ways that you can change your everyday life just a little bit in order to help the planet. And I think this is really important because a lot of people I know care about the planet, but I think that a lot of people don't know easy small changes that they can make in their life in order to help the planet. And it's not going to be like, oh, you need to go full vegan and all of that. Like, I know that that's extreme. These are all just little tips and like little changes you can make to your lifestyle that will make a big impact if everyone does them. Also, I'd like to point out that these tips that I'm about to tell you are specifically things that you can do in lockdown. Like, all of them you will be able to do even though we're in lockdown at the moment. But that doesn't mean to just do them in lockdown. These are tips that you can like take for your whole life and use for all your life as well as in lockdown. So the first topic I'm going to cover is how you can make changes to the way you shop and the things you buy in order to help. So first of all, especially in this lockdown, there's been a lot of emphasis on helping small businesses and local shops and all of that, and it is really important. And so an example of doing that means that when you do your grocery shopping, rather than going to massive shops like Asda and Tesco, you can go to your local like farmer's shop and go and buy there. First of all, it's a lot more like trustworthy, like it's a lot more natural. Second of all, you're helping out local small companies and businesses so they don't shut down. And thirdly, you miss like the crowds and the queues, so it's just like better all around, especially in this time. Another point along the lines of that is to order takeaway from in this lockdown from your local companies to stop them from, because all of the like food chains and restaurants nearby to you are going to be struggling a lot in this lockdown because no one's like going out to eat anymore. So it is important to still get takeaway from like local restaurants around you. That'll help people a lot. Also, an obvious one is to bring your own shopping bag and don't always buy a new plastic bag. I know sometimes it's just hard to remember, but maybe if you get like a few bags that you actually really like and then you'll just keep them in your car and you'll always remember to have them. Or like a bag that like folds away so it's really small and then you can just carry it around everywhere with you, you know, so you always have a bag with you. And along the same lines about plastic, so we all know that plastic is very, very bad for the environment. So when you're shopping, a conscious thing you can do is to look out, and when you're trying to decide between two products, always go for the one that uses less plastic. No matter, like, if it's the same price range and it's the same product, go for the one that's got like cardboard packaging rather than plastic packaging, because it does make a difference. And other things you can do in terms of avoiding plastic is, for instance, rather than buying soap in a plastic bottle, buy bars of soap. I've been doing this for ages and it works so well. There's no reason why you wouldn't just get a bar of soap. It's so much better because there's less plastic, it's just so much better. Also, bamboo toothbrushes. When you need to get a new toothbrush, don't get a plastic one, get a bamboo one. It literally makes no difference. It's the same price, it works the same, it's a toothbrush. But it's so much better for the planet, so do get bamboo toothbrushes. Also, other things that I've been doing recently is I've got biodegradable floss for my teeth, which you can just put in the compost bin, it just biodegrades, and I've also got bamboo cotton buds, and so they can just biodegrade as well, so there's no plastic being used there. And they're really good changes you could do. Also, when it comes to soap, there's also bar shampoo and conditioner, which work well, and that's always good to try out as well. More about like clothes shopping now rather than grocery shopping. So first of all, when most people do clothes shopping online, I know that I do, and when you are doing clothes shopping online, make sure you do check that it's sustainably sourced. I know that now on ASOS you can search specifically for sustainable items and for items made from recycled materials and stuff, and I think that's a really good thing, and you should really make the use of that feature because it will help a lot. And also, rather than shopping from brands like ASOS all the time, it's really, really good to shop secondhand as much as possible because the fast fashion industry is terrible and it's causing so much like more waste and pollution. So you really should try and shop secondhand. And an online good place for that is Depop. I know that not everything on Depop is secondhand, but there is quite a lot of secondhand stuff on Depop, which is like stylish and cool, and it's online and it's easy. So I would recommend trying that out because that's always worked really well for me. And when it comes to clothes shopping, there are a few clothes shops which are just terrible. They're not good to their workers, they're not good for the planet, they're not eco-friendly in any way, and I've looked up for a list of these. So a few brands that you should avoid at all costs because they're just so bad for their workers and for the planet include Misguided, Forever 21, Urban Outfitters, Dior, Romway and Wish. And there's also a few more. And if you want more reasoning and like explanation for why you should avoid these brands, then I've got a website with all the information. It's going to be linked below. It's going to say what clothes brands you should avoid and like why each brand is bad. But it still leaves a lot of good brands. Like, it's not, you can still get cool clothes, trust me. Okay, so that's about all I have to say about when it comes to shopping. So the next thing I'm going to move on to is diet. So this is a very controversial one, I guess, because most climate activists and people that care about the climate are vegan, including myself, and there's very much a negative like connotation around the word vegan. But it's like, you don't need to be full vegan to make a difference. Like, you really don't. And I don't want you guys to go vegan. I'm not going to ask you to do that at all. It's just simple things. Like, for instance, maybe like one day a week you have like a meat alternative for your dinner rather than like the real meat. And like, you know what I mean? And like, you start having like cheese in your sandwich rather than ham every day. Just like little small changes. You don't need to make a whole massive lifestyle changes. But it's really important if you want to help the planet, just like every now and then, just go for the non-meat version, you know? Even just the little things do make such a big difference. The meat industry it honestly is, changing your diet is honestly the biggest way you can help the planet. And every little counts, honestly. If everyone in the world just took out one meat meal a week and replaced it with a non-meat meal, it would seriously make such a huge difference. And like, yeah, it helps the planet so much. And also, I would like to point out, with being vegan or vegetarian, you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to feel guilty. Like me, I say I'm a vegan, but like every now and then I'll just give in and have like a cheesy pizza. You know, like I'm 90% of the time I am vegan, but it's okay to not be perfect at it. As long as you're trying, it makes such a huge difference, and you don't need to be perfect. Yeah. Right, so now I'm going to talk about just like the other random bits and bobs you can do around the house to help. Like including like saving electricity and saving water, which will also reduce your electricity and water bill. So it's like beneficial for you to do these things as well as beneficial for the planet. And that's like the obvious things, like just make sure, really like just be aware of when you're not using something, switch it off. You know, when you're not in a room anymore, switch the light off. My family are terrible at this. I'm constantly going around the house and there's just like empty rooms with like the light and the TV on. I'm like, why does this need to be on? There's no one in there. And just little changes like that just makes yourself more aware of like what's been left on. And same with like leaving a running tap on. Like, I think we all know not to do that. Also things like, especially now it's getting a bit more sunny out there, like dry your clothes on the line rather than using tumble dryer kind of thing. Gardening is a good hobby. This is something I don't do, but I should get into. But it's a good thing to do while you're in lockdown, a good hobby. Like, a lot of people enjoy doing it. And also, as well as it being fun, it is really good for the planet and the insects and the like ecosystem of your garden. You know, it really is good to increase the diversity of the plants in your garden. Also, like, with your waste, making sure you're handling your waste properly, so having like a compost bin and a recycling bin, and making sure you like put the right things in all of the bins and like recycle as much as you can is really good. And also when it comes to like old clothes and old books, old puzzles, old toys, make sure you donate them. Or I know that charity shops aren't open at the moment at the time of recording, but what me and my family have been doing is like dropping puzzles off outside each other's houses. So we're not like getting close, but it's just like passing stuff on, you know, rather than just throwing it out and give it to someone else. It's a kind thing to do. It helps boost people's morale, giving them new toys and puzzles and games to do. And also it means you're like buying less stuff, so it's a lot better for the planet. Also drink water from the tap. I don't understand why people buy plastic water bottles, because it makes, first of all, it's expensive. If you don't, I know that different areas of the UK, your tap water is like different quality and it like can taste worse. But if it tastes bad, just buy like a filter. It's a one-time purchase, it's quite cheap, and you can just drink from the tap. You don't need to buy plastic water bottles. They are literally just a scam. I'm literally telling you right now, plastic water bottles from the shop, like, you know, like Buxton, Evian, all of that, it's just a scam. Why do you need, you've got a tap. Why do you need to buy water? Don't fall for it. Don't fall for their scamming you. Okay, so, and the last thing you can do, which will make the biggest difference, in lockdown is to donate to charity or like do events to raise money for charity. And I know that at the moment in time the focus is on the NHS and charities like that, which I completely understand, and like, yeah, donate to the NHS, but like in the long term and like in the future once this is over, you should really consider donating to like green charities that set out to help the planet, because they do make such a big difference, and we are in a time of crisis and this is the time when they need you most. So I've just got a list here of a few of my personal favourite climate change and green charities, but if you just look up online, like climate change charities, there's a list of so many and like descriptions, so you can choose for yourself the ones you like the most. But I'm just going to talk to you about a few of my favourite, and all of these, I'm going to put the link below of how you can donate and how you can read more about what they do, but I'm just going to give a brief summary. So first of all, there's Greenpeace, who I personally donate to every month in like a direct debit. And they say their aim is to halt environmental destruction and to promote solutions for the future generations. There's also WWF UK, which say the environment is in crisis, but we remain positive. That's what we need, some positivity. Friends of the Earth say we'll continue to fight for a fair and sustainable future for people and planet. Great, for people and the planet. Green Alliance strives to continually push for improved environmental laws and policies in the UK. So that's a really important one, because it's more of the political side of everything and like making the government change the way they do things. And the final one I've got on my list is the National Association for Environmental Education, which pushes for children to be educated about the environment as early as possible, which is important because we need the younger generation to be educated, because they're going to be the future. So yeah, all of this is going to be linked below. I hope that these tips, I really hope that you guys take this on board. I hope you don't just watch and think, oh cool, like there's such small things that you can just think about in your everyday life. Like just when you're going shopping, just make sure you're shopping from sustainable brands, just stuff like that, just small changes. And if everyone does it, it will make a difference. I know that we're not going to change everything just by like shopping sustainably. I know that there needs to be like change on the government level, they need to do something, but we're going to keep fighting for that, and we all need to keep fighting for that. But in the meantime, we're the ones, the small changes we make are going to make a huge difference, and they are going to help so much. So yeah, I hope you guys can follow some of these tips, and I hope that they're helpful. I know they were quite obvious ones, but I just thought it would be good to just summarise them in like just a list for you to follow and reference to. And I would love it if you guys had any other tips, and you can comment them below, and then maybe I'll make another video with even more tips and ways you can help. And any questions also you can comment below, or you can message me on Instagram. My Instagram is charlotterob182. We can have a chat there about anything you want. If you've got any other video suggestions, I'm definitely going to be posting more about like vegan diet, and also more about why these changes are so important, like why it's so important to stop climate change and stuff like that. So there is a lot more to come. So if you're interested in this topic and you want to get more involved and help the planet more, then subscribe and stick around, because I will be putting more ways to help. Once lockdown's over, I'll be talking about like the climate strikes. I'll maybe be vlogging going to climate strikes and stuff. So yeah, hope you guys stick around and you see more.